our new skills alphabet for 2020. And we talked about how with COVID and things being so different that we've actually got the opportunity to learn new skills and how to manage new things. And you'll remember that our first two skills, and we're doing one for each letter of the alphabet, the first two was A for adaptable, and we talked about how we've had to adapt things that we do in school because of the COVID-19 virus and how to ensure that we're keeping ourselves and everyone else safe. And then just before we finished up for the holidays, we talked about B for balance, and about balance meaning having the right amount of something. Now, in the questionnaires that your mums filled out for you, they all said that you didn't have the right amount of balance with your online playing games. So that's something that I asked you to think about for the October holidays, something that you could do more of and something that you can do less of. And the reason we ask that isn't just because we don't want you to have fun on your computers, but if you're sitting for long periods of time staring at a screen, it means that there's other things that are out of balance, other things that you're not doing. Because if you're sitting in on your computer all the time, you can't be getting fresh air, and it's really important that you get fresh air too. So when we're asking you to balance the things that you choose to do, it's because we want you to be healthy and we want to ensure that you're getting everything that your body needs. We're moving on to C today, and the word that we're going to look at is control. And it's another one that is very relevant when we're thinking about the COVID pandemic. So control means things that you can do something about. If you can do something about it, it means you're in control of it. And we talk about having a circle of control. So here's you, and here's your circle of control. Everything in this circle are things that you can do something about. What I want you to do is have a look at the statements as they come up on the screen and think about, is this something that I've got control over, or is this something that I cannot control? And if you want to discuss these more as a class, you can pause the presentation and have a chat before you see what I've put on the next slide. Okay, moving on. So the circle of control, all the things that you're in control of that you can choose to do something about. And here are the things that I believe are in your control. You can decide if your hair's brushed. You can decide how much hard work and effort you're going to put into learning. You can decide on a wet day if you're going to put your jacket on or not, and that's assuming that you have a jacket. Okay, so all of these things are things that you can do something about. And focusing on these things will give you a sense of feeling in control of your own life. It will give you a sense of feeling responsible. It allows you to look after yourself and to look after others. And all of this adds up to you feeling better about yourself. So focusing on the things that are in your circle of control. Now, there were some things obviously that didn't go into the circle of control. And these are things that you can't do anything about. You can't choose what colour of hair you're born with. You can't choose what the weather's going to be like on any day. Can you think of other things that you're not in control of or able to change? You can pause now and have a think to see if there's anything you can add to things that are out with your circle of control. Moving on. Using our thoughts and feelings and words on things that are out with our control can make us feel really sad or frustrated and sometimes even angry that we're not able to change them. When you're thinking about something or worried about something, ask yourself, is this something in my circle of control? Is this something that I can do something about? If the answer is yes, then that's fantastic. You can act on it and decide what the best thing to do is. However, if the answer is no, if it's not in your circle of control, if it's out with your control, then you need to let it go, because wasting your energy on these things, the only person it's going to harm is yourself. So there's no point in being angry because it's raining, because there's not a thing you can do to change that. So here's another circle, and let's think about this in another way. Let's think about having a COVID-19 circle of control, because again, there's things about the virus that we can control, and there's things about it that are completely out of our control. So there's you. Adapting to change is one of our skills that we've been learning, can help you to cope and feel happy despite the COVID virus. Okay, accepting that things need to change and just going along with that. Washing your hands, that's something you are in control of doing to keep yourself and others safe. Remembering to cover, especially coming into the winter. If you have got a cough or a sneeze, you're covering it over. You're either coughing or sneezing into your elbow, or you're using a tissue. And as soon as your coughing or sneezing has stopped, you want to put your tissue into the bin, and you must wash your hands. That way you're keeping other people safe as well. Now here's something that you can't control. You can see that we're not puppets. So you can't control what other people do. So don't concern yourself or get angry over things that other people are doing, because you can't change that. However, what you can do is think about controlling the way you react to it. So if somebody's doing something that you can't control, think about how you react to it. You can't stop them from doing what they're doing, but you can make sure that it doesn't affect you. If you feel it's something unsafe, then you think, what can I do? I can tell an adult. We've come up with some COVID rules to see if it'll help you during term 2 to remember what we expect of you in school, okay? So, the Muirs COVID code, and I've tried to make it easy, so there's a word for each letter of the word code. So, there's the clock, come to school just in time for 9. If you come to school too early and other children from other classes come to school too early, you're going to be mixing with other children in the playground. Now, when somebody comes from home, you don't know if they've come from a home with coronavirus. If they have, not only are you going to be in a position where you might get it, but then you're going to go into your classroom and there's a chance that you could spread it to everybody else in your class as well. So that's why we ask that you come at 9 and then you can go straight into your classroom and not worry about bumping into other people. This one is really important. Only use the trim trail on the days that it's been allocated to your class. Now, this was really difficult before the holidays, and we were having to tell people every day before school and after school to please come off the trim trail. We don't do that because we don't want you playing on it. We do it because we need to know everybody that's been on it. Because if somebody is on the trim trail and we found out they've got coronavirus, anybody touching the trim trail could also catch coronavirus. But if you've sneaked onto it when we don't know, we're not able to know that you have been in touch with the COVID virus. So really just stay off it unless it's the days that's been allocated to you. We know it's not great. Keep your distance from adults and children that are not in your class. This is getting harder and harder, and I absolutely understand that. But you need to be keeping your distance from adults because some of the adults in our school maybe don't keep as well as the children do. And if they had to catch coronavirus, they could be really ill. So they're coming to work because they miss you and they want to be here, but we need to look after them and make sure that they're safe. When you go to the toilet in school, please make sure that if there's children from other classes there, that you are just passing them to go into your own toilet, and when you come out you're washing your hands and you're leaving straight away. Don't spend time face-to-face contact talking to children in other classes, because this way you could be spreading the coronavirus across the school. And the last one is just look after each other. I've already talked about looking after the staff in school and making sure they're all okay. But think about the actions that you take in school and how they can impact on people in your family when you go home. All we ask is that you follow our COVID code. You do the very, very best that you can do. We know it's very difficult, but we want you and we want everybody to be safe in school.